Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. But for me, it's morning. This morning, we are getting ready to go to an AZ soccer match. This is obviously not what I'm wearing, just what I'm wearing while I'm getting ready. I just wanted to take you along because it was a little bit more of an interesting day, and we've been spending so much time with our fam and not wanting to pick up the camera for anything other than documenting memories for ourselves and not for YouTube. So today there will be a little bit more action going on, and it'll just be Jonathan and I. So we're gonna vlog. We're gonna take you guys along to Alkmaar, to the AZ game, and then hopefully to walk around Alkmaar city center. That's where I used to live, and so it's just really nice when I'm here if we're able to get up there to go and walk around and pass my old apartment and all of those things. So gonna take you along. I'm gonna finish getting ready, and then we're going to head to the train station. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee. I use this channel to talk all about what intentional living looks like for me. My hope is that you will find some nuggets to include in your own life as you journey through finding what intentional living looks like for you. Alkmaar is the city that I lived in for 2 years when I was living in the Netherlands. It's a little further north than we are staying for the majority of our trip, and it's been a minute since I've been able to get back up there. I do go to the Netherlands at least once a year, but not every trip am I able to get up to my old stomping grounds. So today is an extra special trip. I want to give a special shout out to the public transit system in Europe in general and the Netherlands specifically, though they have made a couple of changes that I don't think are for the better since the last time I was there. However, it doesn't change the fact that you can very easily get from point A to point B without having to own a car. The whole 2 years I lived there, I did not own a car. I either biked or walked or used the bus or the trains to get everywhere. I even took trips out of the country using these modes of transportation. Another plus for being on the public transit system, in the buses and the trains, is being able to read, catch up on a podcast, or listen to an audiobook. Both my husband and I brought our Kindles so that we could get some reading time in while we were traveling to and from our city trip today.
Station Heilo. En ik denk, als ik het nu niet, ik voel me nu nog een beetje want als ik kan wel denken van, nou, ik doe waar het ergens, ik heb op de doel, weet je. Ja. Maar dan...
When we arrived at the Alkmaar station and went down the escalator kind of into the city, I was filled with so much emotion because, like I said, I haven't been back to Alkmaar probably since 2021. And it always feels so peaceful to return to this area of the country because I have so many good memories here, and it feels like coming home, honestly. So when we first arrived, we had to jump on a shuttle bus and head towards the stadium, so we didn't get to walk around the city much at first. Another fun tidbit of information is, even though I lived more than a mile away from the stadium, if my windows were open on game days, I could hear the crowd. Once we got to the stadium, we went inside. It's a much smaller stadium than something that we're more used to in the States, and specifically like thinking about the Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, which is where we go to watch Atlanta United play. But we still wanted to kind of go in, get the lay of the land, figure out where our seats were, and then grab some snacks and drinks before the game started. We were there pretty early, but that's what we prefer. We were also hoping to go into the fan shop because Jonathan really wanted a jersey while we were there. And so once we got in, saw where our seats were, all of that, we started trying to find the fan shop and eventually asked one of the staff members there. And she said, okay, so, you go around this way and it's here. And she said, but it's too late because it's outside the stadium, which is so wild because I'm so used to having everything inside the stadium at different venues that we've been to for concerts and sports games and things like that. But yeah, we totally missed the fan shop, and it was going to be closed by the time we left the game. So funny enough, while we were sitting in the stands before the game happened, I went online and quickly bought a jersey to have it shipped to where we were staying. In some of the clips, you might see seagulls flying, and they were so bold. If there was a lull in the game, or even before the game started, they were diving into the stands trying to get fries from people. Our seats were so high. At first it's a gradual incline, and then it's just kind of straight up. And holy moly, my legs were on fire. So we're in Alkmaar right now. We went to the AZ game earlier, and now we're just walking around the city center. I used to live directly in the city center. There were people walking by and I felt awkward, so I didn't talk when we were over by my old apartment, but we'll put a picture in. So yeah, we're just taking our time, walking around before we head back south to spend more time with our people. I'll probably do a voiceover for most of the explanation of this video, just because it's awkward already to film in public, much less in public in a place where English is not the main language, and I don't want to out myself as a tourist. So we'll check in later. I always try when I'm traveling anywhere to be really mindful of the way that we're taking up space, and not to say that I'm trying to hide or that I'm, pushing any of myself and my own needs aside in order to do so. It's more out of respect for where we are and out of respect for the people who call the places that I'm traveling home. I know when I lived in Alkmaar, there were certain days that had a lot more tourists, and it was incredibly frustrating. We ate at one of my favorite places. I'm so glad it survived COVID. A lot of my favorite spots did not, but this one did. It's called Bodrum Doner, and they serve doner kebab. So that was kind of our first stop along the way to fuel up after being at the game. Walking the main shopping street brings back a lot of memories. This is where all of my errands would happen, other than the grocery store. The Waagplein area is kind of the hub of all things Alkmaar. It has a bunch of restaurants that have huge patio areas where, as you can see, are filled when the sun is out. And that was always true no matter what time of year. If the sun was out, the Waagplein was filled with people just soaking in the sunshine when it showed its face. If you're ever in Amsterdam in the spring and you want a quick day trip, you can go to Alkmaar on Saturdays and see the cheese market. Delicious vendors and a fun little show by the cheese carriers. The square gets filled with wheels of cheese, and it's very fun. Overall, this day was so good. It felt like one of those this could be our life kind of days, and made us more excited and have even more longing for the day when we hopefully get to move over here. But I just want to say thanks so much for watching and coming along on this day in a city that my heart still calls home. Until next time.